Today, as you can see, we're doing something slightly different with Still Spirit away from the studio. This is Aberfeldy Distillery, which is situated in the heartland of Perthshire. And they've been making some fantastic whiskey here since 1898. We've obviously featured a lot of Aberfeldy whiskies in the past on our videos. So we've actually taken a trip down to visit them. I'm going to be meeting India from the team here, and she's going to let me try out some fantastic whiskies at the bar. So let's go, I'll see you there. You now join me inside the distillery bar here at Aberfeldy, this beautiful setting. I'm joined by India, who's part of the team here at Aberfeldy. Now tell me, what have you got in store for us today?
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Thanks so much for coming. Today we're going to chat a bit about what makes Aberfeldy so special whilst tasting some drams, of course. So we've got the main range here of our 12-year-old, 16-year-old and 21-year-old. So let's understand what makes Aberfeldy so special.
Excellent. So before we get into that, tell me a little bit about the background. What makes Aberfeldy so special?
So we're right in the heart of Scotland, in Perthshire, and Aberfeldy is kind of where Perthshire's tallest mountain, deepest loch and longest glen meet. Down the road as well, we've got our Heart of Scotland woods, so kind of right in the heart of Scotland, and as people say, heart of Scotland's heart of the universe, so got a special place to be.
Of course, yeah.
So John Dewar kind of famously started his blending shop in Perth, not too far away, but his son wanted to kind of build this distillery to become sort of the heart malt of the Dewar's blend. But we were also kind of founded here because we're a stone's throw away from where John Dewar was born in the parish of Dull. So he wanted to kind of pay homage to his father in that way. The landscape's incredibly beautiful, but we also have an amazing water source called the Patilly Burn. And back when people thought the water was a key influencer of flavour, they had samples of another distillery's whiskey from a couple of miles up the hill that closed down in the mid-1800s.
I believe there's something else associated with the water as well, which is perhaps where the golden dram sometimes kind of comes from.
Absolutely.
The origins of that.
Kind of hills around here are full of gold, and alluvial gold actually runs through the water source. There's gold everywhere.
There's gold everywhere, and then and that's why we see in the presence of the branding of Aberfeldy, it ties in, right?
Yeah, that kind of lovely gold on the bottles and on the boxes kind of harks back to our water source, and that's called the golden dram.
So after the drams, if we find some gold, do we keep it? Is it still present in the area?
Yeah, so there's definitely still gold around. I wouldn't advise going wading into the Burn and trying to pan for some. You might not find very much, if any at all, and then you sort of have to ask the king if he can keep it. And
that's right, yeah.
He might end up probably saying no.
Saying no, but he might say yes if we do find the gold, right?
Yeah.
That's the
maybe.
protocol.
I'd say safest thing is just to sit and drink a beautiful dram.
Sounds good to me.
Instead.
Okay, well then, how about we do just that? We try some of the core range here, and yeah, you can tell me what we should be tasting today, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so what have we got up first then?
So we've got our beautiful Aberfeldy 12-year-old, which is the youngest of our continuous expressions and a really great example of the character that we tried to create here at Aberfeldy.
And obviously I can see the distillery featured on the front here as well. So how long ago was this distillery built?
So the distillery was built back in 1898, and as you kind of see when you walk around, not much has really changed since it was built. Looks like you're very traditional. If you imagine a Victorian Highland distillery, you imagine Aberfeldy. But at the time, it was kind of the height of technological advancement. It was absolutely innovative and no expense was spared when John Alexander Dewar built it. And one of the kind of key things that sets apart, we were built by the famed architect of the time, Charles Doig, who built kind of most of the distilleries in Speyside, but not so many down here.
Yeah, his stamp, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when the kind of lovely pagoda roof that is now synonymous with Scotch whisky distilleries. He created that as a way to draw the kind of heavy smoke away from the kiln during the malting process, to kind of create kind of a lighter style of spirit, which is very much still reminiscent of Aberfeldy today. We don't floor malt any of our own barley anymore, so it's not in use, but it's just that kind of icon that you see driving around Scottish countryside, and he was instrumental in helping create the style of Aberfeldy that we've maintained to this day.
And it's probably one of the few distilleries as well that it's not had any buildings torn down at all. It all seems to have retained a lot of the original building,
and
which makes it so beautiful and like so original.
Unlike some of our other distilleries, which were kind of torn down in the 60s and rebuilt. We've just had a couple of additions. So we had the still house was expanded in the 60s, and we've expanded kind of where the washbacks are. But other than that, it's the same. What was the malting floors are now our visitors centre, which absolutely great place to come. But everything else is very much as it was and how it looks, and this kind of etching of it back from under the belt.
Exactly. So this whiskey we're about to taste just now, this is similar to what John Dewar might have tried, or just what's the difference now?
So
tell me the background to the 12-year-old.
well, the 12-year-old is kind of, I said that, very much the character of Aberfeldy. It won't be exactly the same. Back in the late 1800s, everyone was kind of using peated barley just because it was the most available fuel source. We don't use any peated barley in Aberfeldy, and where it's kind of very light and honeyed. But the style, it's all about kind of maintaining that lovely orchard fruits, syrupy spices. It's still kind of a classic Highland style. You've got that richness and waxiness and citrus note coming through, but a lovely light florality kind of coming from that more new style of spirit at the time. And the 12-year-old is a perfect example of all of those flavours.
It's got everything. It's got the 4 casks involved, is that right?
So
the maturation.
We're very lucky to have a woman called Stephanie McLeod as our malt master for our single malts and master blender for Dewars. And she's multi-award winning, best master blender in the world, and amazing person to have leading our team. And she is kind of all about wanting to respect the traditions of obviously Aberfeldy, but innovating at the same time, and also making sure that the team at the distillery here works so hard to create an amazing spirit that she wants to pick the exact right casks to enhance that spirit and not mask it at all. So with the 12-year-old, we have 4 different cask types during maturation just to make sure the balance of flavour is correct. So got our first fill bourbon casks that give that kind of vanilla toffee fudge note, which really get on the nose. We got some first fill Oloroso sherry casks that give a slight little bit of sweetness and nuttiness. Some rechar casks, so you get the tiniest hint of smoke. It'll be from the char of the cask. As I said, we don't use any peated barley in Aberfeldy, but we use across our range a lot of refill casks, and this is what Stephanie loves using, is casks that have been used for quite a long time. They're not imparting too much of that wood influence, but just getting the oxidization going, getting that building of flavour, and just letting Aberfeldy kind of
do its thing
and be Aberfeldy. So getting all those kind of flavour profiles on the nose, and then on the palate it's just kind of that explosion of fruitiness, a little bit of spice in the background, and yeah.
Let's try then. As you said, there's just the faintest little bit of smoke in there. Just so subtle, isn't it?
Just that like whisper.
Just a whisper, yeah.
Yeah.
Just smoke. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it's I think a really, really great example of understanding what the character of Aberfeldy is. And if people want to understand Aberfeldy, I always recommend starting with the 12-year-old and then just exploring from there.
Building from there.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite Aberfeldy?
It's going to be one of those annoying answers that say, yeah, completely depends on time of day, time of year, who I'm with, what I'm doing, but you can't go wrong with a 12-year-old.
When do you enjoy the 12-year-old most?
So more in the summertime, I'd say it's my summertime dram.
So whiskey cocktails or just?
I mean, as is, it's great, it's fruity, but when it's really hot outside and you don't want to drink some neat whiskey, just a simple whiskey highball with soda water, so you're still very much getting all of that Aberfeldy coming through, just in a slightly more refreshing way.
There is a lot more to there, isn't it? It's that kind of like golden, there's sweet, there's sort of honey, there's burnt popcorn a little bit as well. There's definitely so much to that whiskey, isn't it, for a 12-year-old?
Yeah, absolutely. The complexity is really there, and if you keep kind of going back to it, you'll pick up different flavours and different notes, and that balance of the kind of the fruit, the citrus, the spice. That cereal has had that kind of popcorn still coming in, and coming from the vanilla bourbon in the bourbon casks as well. A fantastic, great example of what Aberfeldy Distillery is all about.
And that's a fantastic start. Obviously, we began with a 12-year-old, so I'm excited to see what else we've got in store.
Yeah, so we've got some great drams coming up. But yeah, next up is our 16-year-old that we finished in some Oloroso sherry casks. So.
Excellent. Right, let's try this next one then. Okay, so next up, we've poured us a nice couple of drams of the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's different about the 16, obviously apart from the extra maturation period? Tell me what's different about the 16-year-old.
So 16-year-old, as you can tell kind of by the colour here, it's got a slight bit more influence from sherry.
Okay.
So initially this is matured in 3 of the same casks as the 12, so we use first fill bourbon, refill and rechar casks, but then we've finished this one. So we've moved it into some first fill Oloroso sherry casks for approximately 6 months. And that obviously imparts this beautiful colour and definitely on the nose, more of that, say, winter spices, bit of chocolate, and a dried fruit. I'd say much more of a kind of indulgent, sitting by the fire in cold weather.
It is. It's more autumnal, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Still very much one of the palate. You'll taste it's the Aberfeldy character is definitely still there. You're still getting the kind of florality and the fresh fruits and a little bit citrus and a little bit spice, but kind of layered on.
It's almost kind of like the smell. It's like somebody's just turned the lights down, just dimmed it slightly, right? That's what I'm kind of feeling.
And then what you get, what's kind of the big difference of this is on the palate. So take a little sip and see we go.
As we sort of said, it's like they've turned the lights down low. It's an after dinner drink.
Yeah.
It's kind of like chewy toffee in there.
For sure. It like coats the mouth.
Yeah.
That little sweetness, that extra viscosity. Chocolate, is it toffee, winter spices, dry.
Yes, the spices, yes, yeah. Kind of clove sort of thing going on there as well, yeah.
Sure, so this is great, yeah, after dinner with desserts or with a lovely cheese board.
Cheese
board. Gerald's round of this is one of my favourite ways to drink it.
That's it, fantastic. Dangerously good, yeah. And, and we're, as we said, it's coming into autumn, winter soon as well. So a great choice, I'd say. Something that I think a lot of people might want to take note of as well, kind of coming into moving away from like summer cocktails, summer whiskies to
like a little bit richer, a little bit more indulgent. Sit beautiful drown in your favourite armchair.
Yes, exactly.
This is.
So we've taken 2 of the core range.
Yep.
So what else have we got coming up next?
So moving to our final one of the core range, it's our 21-year-old.
Okay.
Just a great kind of think back to the 12-year-old we had just now. It's the same cask type as that, just 9 years older. So really understanding how Aberfeldy matures and becomes a little bit more complex over those extra 9 years.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Let's pour up another one then. So India, you've poured us the 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Is this the final part of the core range? Is that right?
So yeah, this is our final part of our Aberfeldy core range at the moment. So this is our 21-year-old, which is possibly one of my favourite drams in the world. It's a really great example of, we were chatting about, and with the 12-year-old, Aberfeldy's signature flavour profiles and kind of lovely florality, those fruits that we get from the team here at the distillery by having quite a longer than average fermentation process, averaging 72 hours, creating these really lovely fruity floral notes that are then refined during distillation, and then Stephanie and her team just making sure they're maintained even after 21 years in oak. You're still getting those flavour profiles created at that stage. That during the fermentation, 21 years ago.
So a lot of distilleries do is about 50, 60 hours of fermentation, is that right? About average?
And having that slightly longer time is creating of these beautiful fruity and floral esters that kind of come out.
So that's a secret.
But it is quite interesting how all single malt whiskies, it's 3 ingredients. It's water, malted barley, yeast. But we all create something so different, and that's the kind of magic of the industry. But Aberfeldy, all about those kind of lovely syrupy fruits coming through. Whereas the syrupy fruits maybe in the 12, whereas here in the 21, slightly drier fruits. Are still kind of the same type of fruits, I say, but slightly drier. Still very much getting that honey, that honey created during the fermentation stage, but more that kind of heather honey note coming through. And
maybe some like stone fruit as well. Maybe perhaps some like raisins I'm getting used as well.
Sure. And as I said, it's the same 4 cask types as we use in as well. So that first fill bourbon, first fill sherry, refill and rechar cask, just the extra 9 years, just building on that complexity, which you really get on the palate. So.
And are you privy to the percentages of those casks at all? Or is that part of the magic that you don't disclose to anyone?
Don't disclose. Stephanie likes to say an appropriate selection of casks to achieve the desired flavour profile. But also the ratio would change each time, because as much as the team, they know what should happen with certain types of casks and certain ages of whiskey does its own kind of little magic thing. So each time to kind of keep that consistency, add a little bit more from this, a little bit more from there, something maybe a little bit older than 21. 21 is the youngest whiskey in here. So it's all about kind of working with things that can be quite unpredictable and creating a beautifully consistent spirit.
Excellent. So tell me what I should expect from trying the 21.
So should get kind of almost like a these waxy kind of chewiness on the palate. It goes on.
Chewy treacle is just...
Goes on forever.
It's got a great finish on that.
It's something to sit in a dram to kind of think over, to kind of contemplate and just enjoy where it takes you. It kind of takes you at different stages.
It kind of feels like with a 16-year-old, it was quite good to relax. It's by the fire, whereas this could be your backup, your conversation is really kind of going again. It's a whiskey that will certainly perk you up.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like...
Keep the night going a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely skill in creating something that's still getting that Aberfeldy key notes going there still. It's like that kind of freshness, but being 21 years old, so that balance is incredible.
Yeah, there's like almost like just at the finish, like a toasted coconut.
Yeah,
so that'd be right as well.
Yeah, the coconut
something in there as well
comes through, and that's again on the magic of when whiskey and oak casks work together. After a certain while, get these things called whiskey lactones that smell and taste like coconut. So definitely kind of getting that emerging, and that's just this whiskey slumbering in these casks for 21 years at least. Becoming this.
I think after a few of these I'd be slumbering as well, but it's certainly a very enjoyable dram.
Yeah. Yeah, great way to finish off a kind of core range.
It is. And is that the end of the tasting here today?
It is not. No, we've got one of our limited edition wine casks, our 18-year-old Aberfeldy finished in Sangiovese cask that we want to move on to next. So
okay, so
them are quite a bit different.
So this is an extra treat. So okay, let's go for it then. Let's try this as well. Okay, so India, we've now got the final dram. You've poured another very hospitable amount here, just to kind of round off the whole tasting here. Now, you said this is a special release. Now, tell me a little bit about this.
So
what do we call it here?
These are our kind of limited edition wine cask collection. Started a few years back, fusing Stephanie's two greatest loves of fine wine and fine whiskey. And so I'll be thinking, why not kind of merge them together and put out beautiful whiskey?
Two passions together.
In these beautiful wine casks. We started with kind of your traditional or French red wine. So we did Pomerol, a Pauillac, a Côte Rôtie. We've then moved across the pond and done Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. We've done Tuscan wine casks from Bulgari. We've even done moving away from the red wine, and we did a sweet wine, so a Semillon cask from Cadillac last year. This year's edition, so this is kind of just released a couple of months ago, moving back to Italy. So this is our 18-year-old Aberfeldy. Generally, they're kind of either 15-year-old or 18-year-old. Though we do have a beautiful 21-year-old finished Argentinian Malbec, which is still around. So
excellent.
Definitely check that one out.
Definitely one for people to look out for if you can find it somewhere.
For sure. But yeah, this one back at 18 years old. And along with all of the wine casks, the initial maturation is refill casks, just the refill casks. We want the impact of the wine casks to really come through, so don't want too much of that bourbon or sherry to kind of mask that. But then finished for this one about a year in Sangiovese casks from a 2016 vintage, which kind of layer on some really interesting notes on Aberfeldy.
And who sources the wine casks? Are these just imported? Do you do site visits?
So we work with fantastic cask suppliers. So we've got our team at Distillery kind of working on getting us the best casks. The best whiskey's got to have the best casks. And it kind of can depend on, we want to try this, or we get a call saying, we've got these really cool casks, we want them. So kind of goes from there.
And is that a case of being able to like go to source and visit these casks as well, or are you just when they arrive in Scotland?
Actually, and the main one was our 21-year-old actually, the Argentinian Malbec finish I just mentioned was the only one that we've done a direct collaboration with the winery with, which was really fun. So that was the Finca Ambrosio in the UK Valley in Argentina. And Stephanie went over with samples of our whiskey, met the winemaker who had samples of his wine, and that was kind of a direct collaboration, right? This whiskey with this wine cask will be perfect. So that would have been a very fun trip.
Yeah, I'm sure it's exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of tension. There really is a lot of passion there, as you said. It is combining two passions.
And making sure as well that with these big, heavy red wine finishes, that you're not losing sight of the Aberfeldy character we've spoken about already. There's still very much.
It's part of the, it's definitely part of the identity. Yeah,
exactly. And that balancing act is not an easy thing to do. I'm sure you'll be able to see how it works.
Okay, so let's try this and then we can see exactly what the impact of the wine cask has on this. So what should somebody be expecting when they try this?
So obviously the addition of more of these red fruits that are kind of synonymous with red wine. So a bit of kind of cherry in here, but I also get kind of a bit of fig, and figs like drizzled in honey, that kind of Aberfeldy honey note really coming to the fore again, but in a slightly different way than we've had it previously.
There is like an apricot sort of kind of touch to that as well.
Absolutely.
Slight waxiness, but yeah, it's very subtle.
And then a little bit of spice coming through, and almost with some of these wine casks, almost like a little savoury note to the finish. But they all really are so different. So I highly recommend if you can hunt some of the old ones down.
They are still out there, they are still available. Yeah.
So, some of them, I'd say the 21 Malbec for sure is, and that's really interesting. But it's great to be able to have every year something new to explore with Aberfeldy. Great way is then to kind of see the differences and where we go, but also paired with food, with kind of cheeses with main course, because people understand pairing wine with food, less so whiskey. So kind of having the wine casks here, you kind of getting that little bit of helping hand of where to go with these pairings. So
yeah, I'm thinking there's some nice breeze on the cheese board, you know, some nice deep veiny blue cheese as well. Just kind of really bring that out. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously this is the first wine cask finish I've tried from Aberfeldy, but as you said, there's a lot more out there. So
there is, and
so the hunt is on to try and test the race.
Yeah, see kind of what differences you can pick out, and keep an eye for any future releases as well, because I don't know what's coming, but I know it's going to be delicious.
So this is an annual release, just the 18 only, or is?
Yeah, this is an 18 for this one. Next year's might be a 15 again. Might be 20, might be something completely different. So
watch this space, right?
Keep your eyes peeled.
Excellent, that's fantastic. So thank you very much for this fantastic selection of the core range here. So for anybody who's not been to Aberfeldy, you know, where's the best place to start?
I'd say a great way to start with Aberfeldy is going to the 12-year-old. As I was saying, it's that kind of great example of the character of the distillery, the kind of fresh fruits, the florality, quite light, and just a great way to introduce yourself to the distillery. But also the wine casks are quite a fun way, because people know what their favourite wine is. So maybe if your favourite wine is a Sangiovese cask, then that kind of links you into a bit of familiarity as well. So the best thing to do really is, if you can make it to the distillery, come here, see how it's made, come on one of our tours, which you get a choice of levels of which drams you want to go to, and understand what makes Aberfeldy. Then after a tour, you can sit up at a bar and try the range through, pick out what your favourite.
And I noticed as well in the shop as well, you have a cask here for hand bottling as well.
Yes, that's only something you can do here. So every now and again we get a new cask sent up from our warehouses, which is just for us, just for people coming to visit our distillery, to fill themselves, to write their takeaway, write their name on the labels. Once that cask is gone, it's gone. So you kind of get to bottle your own bit of Aberfeldy history. And it changes every time. So definitely worthwhile. Thank
you very much for inviting us down here for this fantastic selection for the core range and the special bottles as well. And I'll be sure to try and look out for more in the wine cask series and track those down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a great chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time, India. Thanks for joining me here today at Aberfeldy. It's been a great experience with India and the rest of the team here. There's some fantastic whiskies as well. If you want more whiskey content, subscribe to our channel. The only thing I need to do now is decide which bottle I'm going to be taking home from inside.